So it's coming up for the Rolex 24 at Daytona, and I thought to myself, what I'm going to do to help me with my homework for the pit lane job for IMSA is to call a few of my mates who are the leading drivers and basically get the inside scoop on them, their life, and what they're thinking about the upcoming race. What a way to kick off the year. It's bloody huge. 24 hours, in fact. So I thought I'd start off with one of the coolest cats in the pit lane, and that is Colin Braun. So let's give him a call, shall we? Good morning, Colin.
Hey, how are you, Justin?
I'm all right, all right. It's a little bit early for me, and obviously being more mature than you, I had to get the lighting right. You don't need to. First of all, do you know you're 27?
I do, yes. It feels very old, though.
Does it? To you?
Yeah. Yes. I remember the good days, when I was 16, 17, people said, oh, man, you're so young, you're so successful already, and now I feel like I'm just over the hill a bit.
So no one says anything like that to you anymore?
Not anymore. No, they just go, oh, Colin, I remember when you were 17. I'm like, yeah, so do I. Thanks.
And you were like the youngest at everything, weren't you?
Yes.
Youngest Daytona prototype winner. That must have been the first year almost.
I was 17 back then.
Youngest guy to stand on a podium at Le Mans.
Oh, fantastic. So cool. I mean, such a cool experience. I had my first race there, finished on the podium, kind of went, well, that seems a bit easy, really. I mean, everybody talks about how hard Le Mans is. I mean, shoot, we finished on the podium first time. That didn't seem that hard. Yeah,
I mean, so basically, I'm going to break it to you softly. You peaked.
Yes.
Too early.
I feel like I have. I feel like the backside of, 27 years old. And nobody says I'm young anymore. Nobody says I'm old. I'm just kind of that middle ground, just, person.
Yeah, you know what? But you have done a lot, obviously. And I'm joking, if anyone's watching this, about Colin being over the hill. Because it's really been on this... I'm going to get back to your youth in a minute.
That would be great. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, we're getting ready for Daytona, the Rolex. And for a lot of people going to the race, it's their rookie year. There's like 60-year-old rookies, But for you, you've done it so many times now. You're coming off the back of this amazing run of success. How do you get ready for it? Because, I mean, complacency can slip in if you're a tennis player or a football player or American football player, English football player, soccer player. Whatever it is, you can get a bit complacent. But you've got to keep on your game because sponsors, John Bennett, the competition, future. How do you balance all that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, obviously it's tough. This is the biggest race of the year for us. So it's our most important race. And it's a race that, like you said, I've done so many times. This will be my, I believe, 12th consecutive Daytona 24-hour Rolex race. So certainly I've done it a lot, know what to expect and know what it takes. And I feel like that experience helps you kind of decide where it is important to focus your energy and where it is important to work on things and, on the other side, not focus on things that don't matter to performing well in the race. So I think that experience helps kind of guide you in how to focus and how to prepare and know what's important and not get caught up in all of the hoopla that has to do with the race. We just go out there and focus on doing our jobs and it just seems like normal business as usual, I guess.
After Christmas and Thanksgiving and all the things that basically are decadent about life. You have to get your, sort of act together. But Daytona's really funny for you, isn't it? Because you've done the fastest ever lap there. That must have been sketchy.
That was a bit sketchy, yes. Yeah. And not to interrupt the interview, but I have this really cool tire from Continental that is off the car that did the fastest.
No way. 222.971 miles an hour.
Got it.
That must have actually... Do you know why they put you in?
I think I was the only guy that could find dumb enough.
Expendable?
Yes. I thought about that for a while.
And dumb enough? Yeah. God, that was freaking quick, though. I mean, you see, do you remember... You probably heard about, like, in the 70s and 80s, when my dad and everyone was doing it. They come off NASCAR 2 and go all the way down to 3. And go in there in the 917s and things. That's what you did, right?
That's exactly what we did. We just did the oval, and we did it in the DP cars, the current
Yeah.
DP car, where those cars aren't made to go that fast.
No.
They're made to make downforce. They're made to make grip through high speed corners. So we had to trim all of the aero off of it and really, really trim the thing out, turn up the Ford powered engine quite a bit, and get the thing going in a straight line. So they kept asking me, they're like, do you want to make aero adjustment, or do you just want more power? And I was like, well, I guess don't make it any slipperier through the air. Just give me more power. So we just kept doing that. And yeah, it was pretty scary, though. I'm glad that we don't have to go do that again, hopefully, for some time.
Yeah, no, because the other thing is it wasn't just the tires hadn't done it. I mean, I know Continental gave you a lot of feedback, but the suspension hadn't done it.
Exactly.
I mean, and you were a bit like, it's a bit like Felix Baumgartner jumping out of space. It's like, and test pilots, halfway down is when it goes on wrong, right?
I remember having a moment in the morning when I was doing laps getting going, and I remember thinking to myself, quite clearly, this is no longer driving a race car. This is not being a race car driver. This is being a test pilot, because everything they would say was, well, we don't have any data above 195 miles an hour, so we think it'll be okay. Just let us know. You'll be the first guy to know. So that gives you that warm fuzzy.
It's when people come up, Colin, they put their hand on your shoulder and they go, I like you. I respect you. I've always, I'll think of you.
So you've been there before.
Yeah, I have. In fact, for me, it was most of my racing career. People didn't really expect me to come out. But so something else I was going to say was NASCAR. Obviously, you're back at Daytona. I mean, you did well there. I mean, pole didn't win, but in trucks, right?
Yes. Yep. Trucks did some nationwide races there. It's a lot of fun.
Colin, I know you as we had lunch together. We've had breakfast together in the hospitality, not at his house.
Of course.
And I just think of you as fiercely competitive, very congenial. Why did you have aggressive driving issues back in the day? I mean, was it coming off? Was it teenage? Was it acne that was causing it? What was it? Was it frustration? Did you not have a girlfriend? Or what happened? What was it? A youth?
That's a great question. I've never looked at it from that standpoint. But
you weren't getting any, is what I'm trying to get to.
I think most of it came from the fact of a lot of people came to me and said, you've got a great opportunity at Krone Racing. You need to make the most of it. Do what you have to do. Don't let anybody push you around. Don't let people sort of run your style of racing. You be the guy in charge. You make the decisions. You do what works best for you. So I sort of took that to heart, and as a kid growing up, my dad was a race car engineer, so I never had opportunities for, a couple seasons of one particular type of racing to get good at it. It was like, hey, we have enough money scraped together from some sponsors and some help to go do one Pro Mazda race this year, and you better make sure that race is a big race and works well. So I've always sort of had that mentality, and a lot of aggressive driving, problems, issues, whatever, but also won a lot of races, and I was driving for Tracy Crone. He had 2 full-time carbon fiber department guys, so they were like, hey, as long as we're winning races, keep tearing the sides off the car. We don't care as long as we're winning.
That is exactly the kind of boss you need. So when we come back, and I'll ask Colin lots more important things like about his wife. Click on this video here now.